What's good, everyone? Maybe you had been considering buying a New Balance 1300 CLS or a JP, but you didn't get it. You missed out on the release, and maybe it's out of your budget to begin with because the JP, for example, starts at 270 euros retail. And if you have to pay resale for it, it's gonna be even more expensive. And I can totally understand if that's too much money because in the end, it really is. But if you're looking for something similar, something that looks similar, then this one here might be an alternative for you. And we're gonna jump into the details right after the break. So today I'm taking a look at the New Balance 574 BA2. This released in the History Class pack alongside with a bunch of other nice colorways, but this one here stood out the most to me. I'm gonna tell you the reason why in a couple of seconds. And the question is this an alternative to more expensive New Balance sneakers which have been made in the US or in England? I have to admit, I never owned a 574 because it has never really been my kind of shoe. The toe box is pretty wide and I have narrow feet, so I do not need all of this excessive material on the side. I prefer it to be a little bit more pointy. And also the shape of the 574, the toe box, usually the older ones have a little bit of cliff toe and it is a little bit bulky. So not really I have fancied in the past, but I have to admit this one is quite a bit better. I used to have a 500 where the materials are a little bit worse than this. And I never really cared for this one as well. And I gave it away after a while. And I moved on pretty quickly to Made in US and Made in England pairs. Probably you're thinking, if this guy is only buying the more expensive stuff, how can
You know what, man? If it's not been made in the US or the UK, it's not a real New Balance anyways, so forget about it.
Yeah, but Nike is an American company and they produce overseas and nobody's complaining there, so what's the point?
That cheap made in Asia stuff, nobody
Yeah, and
wants
all
it
the
anyways.
clothing that you're wearing, and all the clothing that you're wearing, has any of that been made in the US or in England?
All right, man, I'm
Yeah,
just
I
saying,
thought
I'm just
so.
saying.
Yeah, right. So, just be quiet. You're confusing everyone. So, the point is, as I do own a number of more expensive New Balance sneakers, I think I am able to compare the 574 to these and make an assessment if this is a good alternative. So, these perked my interest because of the colorway. Like I said, these remind me a lot of the 1300 CLS, 1300 JP, 1500 BSG, and the 1400 SB all look similar to this one, or this one looks similar to them. They all have this gray and steel blue colorway combination. All of them have a little bit different hues, but they all have the same vibe. And this one has the same vibe, and that's why I just wanted to try this out. So here it is, and I have to say, I'm a little, I wouldn't say I'm torn, but it's a mixed bag, you know? Materials are all right. I mean, this is 90 euro sneaker. I bought this for 64, and the suede is okay. It's not the smoothest, but it's a lot better than you will find on other brands. The mesh is okay. It's also not quite on par with the American or English brethren, but that's understandable. It still feels fine. The inner liner is fine, also not on the same level as the American and British pairs. All in all, this is decent for the money that you're paying, and I'm fine with that. There's some things that I don't like, which makes these a mixed bag. I mentioned the fit already in the toe area, and some things I do not like is, for example, the midsole. I expected it to be a little bit like a 577 or 1300, but it's not. It's a lot softer. So, of course, this is not a running shoe, but if you should happen to run in these because you're trying to catch a bus or something, these are gonna bottom out. So the midsole is pretty soft, which I do not like. And another thing that is adding to the soft feel is this pretty cheap and flimsy insole, which is really, really bad. It does not give any support underneath your foot whatsoever. But this is not something only happening in cheaper New Balance shoes. Also the 920, which is made in England, has a very, very cheap insole, which is embarrassing. So of course you can replace it, and it's not really taken away from the overall experience of the shoe, but I think if New Balance invested a couple of cents more into that insole, this would have been a better shoe with a little bit more comfort. Also, what I do not like is the craftsmanship here. It is okay. The only thing that I have is quite some glue. It's most noticeable here at the front, at the lip. That dark area is glue, and it's wrapping around the shoe a little bit everywhere. It's not a lot like you see on a Nike, but it's still there. But this is not made in the US, and then these would have gone back. So, and also for the purpose in mind, it's okay, especially for the price. And I've seen a lot of promo pictures which had the same thing. So I think it's a common thing with this release here. So don't be surprised if you have some excessive glue at the area where the midsole is bonded to the upper. So these are the things that I do not like. Other than that, materials are acceptable and fine. No complaints really here. Craftsmanship is decent. Could be better, but then again, you have to consider what you're paying for this. Sizing, I talked to a guy in Akicktive briefly. He also has the YouTube channel, so check it out. And he also has the feeling that his CLS is fitting a little smaller than his other New Balances in his true size, and I have the same impression with these. This is a size 13, and I have a size 12 in the New Balance Aiming Door 1300 here. And this is even a little bit bigger than this one here. So if you want to take a quick look, if you add them up toe to heel, it is even a couple of millimeters longer. So keep that in mind. And also the other 1300 that I have is almost identical in size. It's maybe like 1 or 2 millimeters longer than the 574. You might want to try sizing up a half size from your true New Balance size, because otherwise these might be running small on you. Not in the forefoot section, but in length. They're still a wide sneaker. So, my resume for the 574 BA2. Is this an alternative to more expensive New Balances? The thing is, if you are able to afford something more expensive, then I would definitely shell out the money, because you are going to be more happy in the long run. Also, they're probably going to last longer than this. But like I said, there are a lot of people who are not able to afford expensive sneaker, who do not want to spend a lot of money because they have other priorities in life. Totally understandable. I think there are two kinds of people who are on a budget and then buying sneakers or looking for sneakers that look good. The first group of people are people who grab classics, and that's a sure shot. They look good now, they are going to look good in 5 years, they are going to look good in 10 years, and nobody is going to laugh at you. They will always look good. You can wear them with almost anything. And then there's the other group of people who want to buy the hype stuff but cannot afford it, and then they settle for something less, which takes some inspiration from those hype releases, but it's quite not there, you know? It's lacking something, and you know they would have liked to have the other stuff but couldn't afford it. And that's a little half-assed, I have to admit, and I would rather take a classic that looks good, and the 574 definitely is the classic that looks good, and because I think this is one of New Balance's most sold sneakers, most successful sneakers, and probably rightly so. So if this fits your foot, this fits your budget, don't be ashamed to grab one of these. I think this is a great choice, especially in these very classic colorways. You can never go wrong. So the thumbs up from me. I was thinking about sending these back, I have to be honest, but I'm gonna keep them. Not because I'm a snob, because I have so many sneakers that I do not know if I need any more than I already have. But I think I'm gonna keep it for the reason that these are great shoes for vacation time or for the weekend when my girlfriend takes me to the woods or into mud places or where there's a lot of dirt. She just has the talent for it, and I always end up ruining my sneakers. And these are great for vacation, like I said. If you go to the beach, if these are getting stolen, you're not gonna cry a river. If you're wearing 180 euro shoes and these are getting stolen or something, or you're gonna mess these up, it's gonna be a little bit more tragic. So thumbs up from me. I really like them. I think the colorway is dope. If I'm gonna add more 574s to the collection in the future, I'm not sure about that because of the fit. But if these fit your feet, go ahead. So, be my guest. That's it for today with the New Balance 574 BA2. I hope you found all this information useful. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope I'm gonna see you in the next one. So thank you very much for watching. Until next time, bye-bye.